minutes in close proximity. That gives a lot of energy for the next few months at least, isn't it? In the same way, when you are serving the Lord in the deity department, like you may be given the seva of washing the pots in the kitchen, in the devotee kitchen. That's also deity seva only. And you wash like it, rakh diya. But when you go to the deity, then you get the bhoga plates. You don't wash like that. You wash with great attention. Isn't it? That gives a lot of impetus for us because it is personally. And this is called Mahaprasad. What is Mahaprasad has been defined by Rupa Goswami. Prasad, which is directly given from the plate which the Lord has eaten. That is called Mahaprasad. So that is called Mahaprasad. That is why Jagannath Mahaprasad. So whatever is made in front of, put it in front of Jagannath. So he's eaten from that. So you serve it, that is Mahaprasad. And just something which comes from the deity kitchen, that is not Mahaprasad. The Lord has eaten from that plate. Directly you take and give. That becomes Mahaprasad. Be careful about it. No, you transfer it to another plate and give. That is not. You say it as Mahaprasad, but technically it is not. So don't go and say, Pujari, no. Get the plate out, put it on your tray. So for that you require to have something like the Jagannath Puri. Like they use the mud pots for that. In some temples, even till today, you see the pujari, he brings the plate, same plate and offers and gives. Many temples. Not all the bhogas, some bhogas are for that particular purpose only. So that has some speciality. Isn't it? I'll give another example. Sometimes your Guru Maharaj may be having his prasadam. Then he takes from his plate and gives to you. That is something special. And then another one is that the devotees after that Guru Maharaj ka Mahaprasad hai, Mahakriti. So it is not from the plate, it is transferred to another plate. There is some difference. See, transcendence is fine, but there is variegated in transcendence. There is variegatedness in transcendence. Of course, everything is prasad only. But still, there is some speciality when it is given from the plate of the Lord from the plate which the Lord has personally eaten. So, washing the plate of your own plate or the plates of the devotees, or that is there, that is also one kind of deity worship only. But washing the plate from which the Lord has personally eaten. Now, sometimes devotees say that when you offer bhoga to the Lord eats through his eyes. Because what is the verse we quote? Angani yasya sakalendra. That's all philosophy. But he doesn't eat through eyes. If you have made it so tasty, he sits peacefully and maje se khate hain. He sits and eats peacefully with his hands. And so don't put spoons in one place. One devotee was putting a spoon in the bhoga offering plate of the Lord. I told, what happened? Well, this spoon bhi acha hai na, thoda sa spoon rakhenge. No spoon ho baad mein fork rakhoge, baad mein nahi rakhoge. Ye kahan se leke aaye bhai? I don't, Bhagwan maje se haath se khate hain. You have forgotten to eat through your hands. You want these just people. Even brahmachari ashrams, I went in North India, a few temples. I went. The brahmachari, what is spoon hai? Rice, dal, and all is the spoon. It's being used. We have been in the home these days. They are not used to eat with the hands. But Krishna eats with the hands. He sits peacefully. They say when you have a lot of hunger, and then a nice feast has been made, and you are able to see what all items are there. And then the devotee is serving prasadam, and you have your other friend also sitting next to you. Other friend sitting next to you, all devotees are there. The plate is there. Then how much enthusiastic you are, just see. How much ananda you have. The same Krishna is a person, so he also has it. Like sometimes you go and ask the cook, kal kya ban raha hai? Isn't it? हाँ? कल क्या उसके क्या क्या बन रहा है? So why this mentality came in us to find out what's happening, what are you cooking tomorrow, what is next? हाँ? क्या सब्जी है? Isn't it? Isn't it? So where did mentality come from? Because Krishna has it. Krishna has it. And some devotees know what is he asking. And some people just go and come like a machine and come back. So the whole purpose of deity worship is to remove the impersonal concept which is deeply rooted in our consciousness. If you just don't go on studying scriptures and don't worship the deity, though study of Bhagavatam is Bhagavat Vidhi, which is superior to Archana Vidhi, but the ghost of impersonalism will dance in your consciousness and ultimately will make you an impersonalist. So to get rid of the ghost of impersonalism from our consciousness, we have to worship the deity. Considering all these aspects, which has just spoke, especially every desire what we have is nothing but the perverted reflection of the desire which Krishna has in his mind. You name it desire. You want to wear nice things. Because you're brahmacharis, there's no that kind of desire to wear nice things. But some people have, brahmacharis also have, it should be nicely ironed, nice, it should be proper. Some people have this. Like one temple, somebody ironed my clothes and gave it. Somebody also ironed my clothes. And why waste your time? I don't have the desire for that. Anything you put and then go. It's a childhood habit. Anything just put and go. Tone also no problem. That kind of some people have this. But when it comes to eating, no, it should be like that only. It should be like that only. With lot of particularity. But there are some people, they're very pakka in their dress. They want a particular kind of dress. And when it comes to eating, kuch bhi chalta hai. Ye do. Pet to bharna hai. But Krishna is having all the desires in him. He wants to wear good dress. He wants to show off. He wants to, like people want to show off. Krishna wants to show off. That's called festival. Festival means transcendental show off of Krishna. So you must have observed during the festival, the routine pujaris are there, regular pujaris are there, they are sitting in one corner. All of a sudden, few people manifest on the festival day. Confirm. All of a sudden. And the regular pujaris are sitting there. ये लोग कब का एक दिन में आके हंगामा करके जाते हैं. They'll say all these things. That's true, isn't it? Because Krishna wants that every day is cooking the same thing and giving. इसको साड़ी में रखो. It's new blood, yes, on this day, especially, I want something. So they're called, it's actually tradition. Not in tradition, the Smriti says. The Nitya Sevak Pujaris are different and the Utsava Sevaks are different. Because the Nitya Sevaks, they don't know how to do show off. That's all. Full. Every time work. But the festival time, Hari Bol Prabhu, you do this. No, they do the manga. Only for one day, next day they'll sleep. So you require that's Krishna. So this is how the impersonal calamity can be destroyed by having the parikara seva. Parikara means to be intimately associating with the body of the Lord. If you're Brahmin initiate, going and touching the body of the Lord, sparsha, by making the dress of the Lord, by making the garlands for Krishna, by cleaning the vessels which Krishna has eaten, by cleaning the floor, by going around. That is why when you are in the deity, in the altar, you are not supposed to pay obeisances. You're not supposed to sing, do all these things. Navada bhakti. Somebody told me, Prabhuji, why we don't pay obeisances in the altar? Because paying obeisances is vandanam. Outside you are to do obeisances, inside altar, why you should not know? Inside altar, you are not there to do bhakti, Navada bhakti. You are there to be as a parikara. You are the associate of the Lord. You are the associate of the Lord at that time. Just imagine. There's a opportunity, golden opportunity to, though we are thinking of going to Vaikunta and become an associate, that opportunity is now here. Even in the conditioned state of consciousness, even in the with this physical body, you get this opportunity. That is a speciality. That is why the deity is there. Most of you know that we have the 5 levels of manifestations of absolute truth. Para, Vyuha, Purusha, Antaryami, Archa. And among the 5 levels of the manifestations of the Lord, Archa is the most compassionate. Because you cannot serve Krishna in Goloka as far in the para level, because he's Satchitananda Vigraha. You want to offer some milk, then that should be also Satchitananda. You're not even getting pure cow milk. What does become Satchitananda? That milk which is made up of Chitkaras, conscious souls floating. That milk you don't get. And Vyuha, Sankarshna, Vasudeva, Sankarshna, Pradyumna, you cannot worship them. Mahavishnu, how can you serve Mahavishnu? I want to offer Rajbhog to Mahavishnu. The plate should be at least the width of 1 Brahmanda, isn't it? From his sweat pores, millions of Brahmandas are coming. And you want to offer Rajbhoga. How big should be the plate? At least, 1 Brahmanda size should be. Not possible. Tantaryami, the Lord who is everywhere. I want to dress the Lord who is everywhere, and he's taking the cloth and the Lord is everywhere. It's not possible. I want to offer milk to Krishna who is everywhere. Antaryami. So you take a sprayer, the Lord everywhere, please drink the milk which I'm going. So it's not possible. So that is why to accept seva from us who are having the conditioned consciousness, who are not qualified. That is called mercy. Mercy means to get something without being qualified. That is called mercy. You are qualified and you good, that is not called mercy. So even though we are not qualified to serve Krishna, being a Parshad of Krishna, the Krishna allows us to be the Parshad, Parikaras of Krishna. So that is a speciality of being close to the deity and worshipping the deity. So this is the core essence of why brahmacharis should worship the deity or be in the deity department. As I told before only, it is not that all the other services are not deity worship. Everything is deity worship, but serving in the deity department has some special flavor. That is what discussed. The greatest benefit, if you have to note, that is what? Impersonal calamity. Impersonalism will go away. When you understand that he is a person, and that person has desires, and he has so many desires. When a conditioned soul can have unlimited desires, just imagine the Supreme Lord, how much desires he must be having. The extent of his desires is unimaginable. The extent of his desires is unimaginable. Again, in this world, people want to have some golden necklace. They want a golden necklace. Now, Krishna, when he has a desire to have a golden necklace, what kind of necklace it should be? Just see. What kind of necklace he would be wanting? Many people say, actually, Krishna is Atma. He doesn't want anything. Who said he doesn't want anything? He wants so many things. Only thing is you cannot fulfill. That is why he says, I am Atma Rama. You cannot fulfill. That is why he says Atma Rama. So this is the rasa which can be experienced when somebody is around the deity worship, around the deity doing some special seva. Sometimes people think, Prabhuji, I'm not qualified. Actually, Krishna has come as a deity to keep the unqualified people along with him, close to him. Once, it is not deity, but I'll tell you. I just once went to my Guru Maharaj and paid obeisances. And then I was seeing his servants, 4 or 5 servants, very busy getting this thing, getting that, arranging all those things. So then I was also thinking, what am I doing in the temple? So many problems here and there that ultimately you should serve Guru. I'm not doing that anyhow. So these people are so exalted. So we are so close to the Guru and then doing so many services. Then I told Maharaj, I also want to be with you and then do some personal service like these people. Then he asked me, do you have any problem? I have no problem. I said, but I'm very much attracted to these people. Then he told, generally those who have some problems, I keep them very close to me. I give them association to them. It's a new dimension of thinking for me. I thought the most qualified, exalted people. It was many years back. I was very new. I was not actually having idea of Guru Maharaj, servant, males, and that. He has different servants for different things. I had no idea. Just go to Jew temple, and then it was the new world, different world. At that time, going to Jew temple, it's like you enter the temple, it's very big thing, very different world. So I had a different idea. So I was wondering the same thing that if you really realize that you have a problem, if you know that you have a problem, then you be close to the deity. You do your paragraph. And the problem is ultimately boils down to Mayavad, boils down to impersonalism. Especially impersonalism leads to inattentiveness, like in chanting. Why we are inattentive? Because we don't know Krishna, name is Krishna. Isn't it? Krishna's name is Krishna, we don't know. That is very attentive. If Krishna comes here, then you'll be very attentive. Why are we not attentive while chanting the names? Because we're not attentive. Why is inattention is there? Because we don't know Krishna's name is Krishna and Krishna is a person. And that is the reason Krishna, you are not able to see the name of Krishna as Krishna. That is why he comes as the deity. So that he can make you understand that I am a person. So what has happened is we keep ourselves away from the deity. And then nurture our impersonalism and becomes complacent. Just for the sake of doing mechanical. Many devotees complain, Prabhuji, sab mechanical ho gaya jivan. Why? Because you're not serving the deity. Now some pujaris say, Prabhuji, we are doing puja, but it's also mechanical. But should I say something? If you tell the pujari, go somewhere else for a few days, he'll take 1 week leave, but he'll come back again to it. He cannot stay. Though he is doing mechanical because of his proximity to the deity, he has developed an attachment to the deity as a person. The personal attachment is there. So to develop that personal attachment, one has to, and all the other benefits, are all secondary. Like you may say, mind becomes peaceful, senses are controlled, you name it. There are so many benefits. And of course, when you serve the deity in the deity department, and the head pujari is very pleased with you, he'll give you some special Mahaprasad. That's also one benefit. So many benefits. You can count innumerable of them, but they're all secondary. The primary is that Bhajaniya Parama Purusha Sukham Hi Susukattham. I am here to please Krishna. And when Krishna is pleased, I'll be pleased. And I'm here to fulfill the desire of Krishna. And Krishna has unlimited desires. And in Pushti Marg, there is a system called Manorath. You must have heard about Manorath. not the Manorathena Dhavatam. Here Manorath refers to whatever desire comes into your mind, do it for the Lord. And sometimes somebody has a desire that I want to decorate Krishna with flowers, to do it. So somebody has a desire, I want to have some special mango juice for Krishna. So, okay, do 100 varieties of mangoes juice for Krishna. That's called Manorath. So, this Manorath is a very interesting term in the Vallabha Sampradaya, Pushti Marga. That is, the desire of Krishna manifests in the desire of the devotee. Manifests in the desire of devotee. It is very rare that a conditioned soul thinks to satisfy, do something for Krishna. As soon as he has this desire, I have to do something for Krishna, then immediately in the mind something comes. You do it for me. So that is the desire of Krishna expressed in his heart by the Paramatma. Sometimes people come here to the temple. They ask the Pujari, Bhagavan ka Shringar karna. You want to give dress to the deity. What does that mean? The Lord has inspired them. He wanted to have a nice dress. So he thought, what is the use of telling this brahmachari? He himself doesn't have a proper dress. Let me tell this person. Let me inspire this person. Then it. So that is how it becomes unlimited. Krishna's desires are unlimited. And you are with that person trying to satisfy his desires. And staying in the temple, of course, Grihastha, they are also serving. The brahmachari is also serving. But being in the temple, not being close to the deity, it is somewhat very awkward. I always tell to our brahmachari in the temple also, they do one service, some seva close to the deity. Though I myself am not able to do because of many reasons. Maybe it's all bahana. It's hectic traveling, one day here, one day there, and so many things. But still, one has to do, those who are staying in the temple, residing in the temple. If you're staying in this temple, like constantly for 1 week, 10 days, 15 days, like that, then you have to take up service in the temple. Otherwise, it is like you have your family. In your family, all are there in the family, but some maid servant is coming and cooking. The lady is there, the elder sister is there, grandmother is there, so everybody are there. But a maid servant comes and cooks. How awkward it is. In the same way, you have 100 brahmacharis in Pune temple, in your temple. Then you find in the deity department, all the grihasthas are coming and serving. And you don't find brahmachari there. It is like what? In a house, you have 5 ladies, sisters, everyone. All are there. They can all cook and then serve. But no, we'll have a maid servant coming. Let us have a maid servant who will come and cook for us. It's not very healthy. It's not very, even to hear that, it's also not so good. So that is why it is a paramount importance for the brahmacharis to develop this intimacy to the deity. So I stop here. I'm not prepared for the class, but whatever came to mind, I spoke. So any questions, please to ask. Yeah. How do you understand this? If you don't
watch the plate,
ah,
if you don't watch the plate of the Lord,
understood. Okay. That is why when the pujari brings the plate out, in the system what we have, you cannot, but there should be a plate where the bhoga is offered, and then he should come out and then directly give from the plate, and then to give it for washing. It is like if you don't wash the plates and keep overnight, and you offer another bhoga without washing the previous one, that is jhuta. But not only to the Lord, even in your house also. In somebody else's house also, if you don't wash the previous days or the morning cooking and you start cooking again, you cannot offer to the deity because that is jhuta. So it should be clean immediately. That is why the system is when you enter the kitchen, you clean the kitchen. And after coming out, well, before you come out of the kitchen, you clean the kitchen 2 times. It should be done. So here what I'm saying is the pujari offers, or bhoga is offering is over. He comes with the plate out, and devotees are, he gives. Vrindavan, many temples it happens. And if you go to Sri Lanka, also it happens. Many places. It is not all the bhogas, one special bhoga. Especially one bhoga, if you go to South India, it's called night offering. It's called Aravanai. So it's a big plate of sweet, just exclusive sweet. That is meant for this. And other things, that is the only plate which actually comes out of the deity kitchen. That's in the pujari's hand only. Comes out and gives. The other things you just cook, offer, and then transfer and then give. But this one, that is called Mahaprasad, especially called Mahaprasad. Okay.
Regarding the use of the spoons, I've heard that even in Hungary, Sivan Maharaj's farm community, they use to put spoons for the deities in the plate, and they used to have proper angles as per Shastra. How do you understand this?
Proper?
Angles, so that the Lord can directly use the spoons. I heard in some lecture.
I don't know.
They said that they use some references from Rup Goswami's some literature. I'm not so sure.
When you don't know something, you better not comment on it. But for sure, Krishna sits down and eats with the hands. Because whatever, the Indian food doesn't require spoon. When I joined the hostel, I was at a paramilitary college with the uniform, epaulets, and navy dress. So first day I went in the mess and I sat, and they had kept a plate and a spoon, the fork, and all the things were there. Like military, how it is, it's like that. I sat and they gave me chapati. I'm not interested in chapati. I thought it's sambar or something like that. I took rice and dal and started eating. Now, I had to take 150 rounds the quadrangle because that's the military training. Just I took 2 times I took, and they just started. Cheers came and hey, what is this? You don't know how to eat. I told, what is how it? I've been eating like this whole life. Then all the mess, everything is empty. I'm running. Then I told, I'm tired now, gone. And now come and eat. This plate was there. He told, eat with a spoon. And it took at least 1 hour to eat with a spoon. I never ate with a spoon. At least the Indian foods don't require spoon. And I asked him, how do you eat the chapati then? He showed, this is how you eat. Crazy. So Indian food doesn't require. If they are serving pizza or something like that, maybe. It is just because you require a knife, because it's meat. They're meat eaters. You have to cut the meat. And you require a fork because you have to put that thing and put it in your mouth and crazy things. Loha, iron going into your mouth. In Ayurveda, it's not recommended. Loha, mitti ja sakta hai, loha nahi ja sakta. If you're from village background and mothers, if you're playing in the mud, they don't mind. The moment you take something and put in your mouth, they would beat. Why? Because it is iron or something. If it goes inside, it's not proper. So we don't want to comment what happens in Hungary. What a name, Hungry. It's Hungry? What? How do you pronounce it? Hungary. Hungary. Mungeri like that. Mungeri. Hungary. It can happen. So we don't want to comment on that. But have you seen in Mayapur they are doing that? Isn't it? Have you seen Pune temple doing that? Jew, where Prabhupada's Radha Ras Bihari doing that. Pork. Silver. Okay, we don't want to discuss much about it. The essence is that the Lord eats with the hand. Sometimes he may use a spoon. It's his will. Swarat. He's Swarat. The devotees may put a spoon, fork, knife, all this thing. I don't know. The purpose of I telling one, he is a person. Since he's a person, he sits and maje se haath se khate. It is not with the eyes he eats. He can, but he eats, lovingly, tastingly. And if he doesn't like something, he rejects also. Krishna ka nakra bahut. Nakra. You know nakra, what is the meaning of nakra? How do you say nakra in Hindi? In English? Naughty. Nakrebaj. Ah. So that kind, nakra. So he may eat something, he may reject something. Huh? Like sometimes the children eat something, nahi khana, like that he does. So it's a person. Okay. Any more question?
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you for inspiring all the spontaneous class or Deity version. This in this Archanam description in the 7th canto, 5th chapter, Prahlad Maharaj words. So there Srila Prabhupada write that brahmacharis should assist sannyasis in preaching and then grahasthas should worship the deities. So, and then now you give a perspective of home, which is also perfect. And also you have the understanding that the entire community is centered around deities. That means not only brahmacharis, even the congregation are part of the same family, basically. So can you give some understanding of, how brahmachari connect and how much we involve grahasthas, because for them also deity worship is essential. And how do you understand Prabhupada's, this statement in the reference of our society?
Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they all built big temples. They established. And they handed over the responsibility of deity worship to the Brahmanas, Grahastha Brahmanas. The Grahasthas, they are very stable. And deity worship requires stability. So responsibility is that of a Grahastha. So don't compare what I'm saying with what's happening here and all. It is good that the responsibility, because deity worship means running a house. And you have to be perfectionist in that. Make sure everything is proper, clean. And the Grahasthas, they have this experience and they have this tendency, attitude. It's very simple. You go to a Grahastha's house and you go to Brahmachari ashram. When a Brahmachari folds a bed sheet, in a Grahastha, the Mataji folds the bed sheet. It's exact, perfect. The folding is perfect. And here what? It is octopus like. So, of course, there are some brahmacharis who have this professional mentality. It's not that, it's not there. But generally, so hand over the responsibility to grahasthas. And the brahmacharis were staying in a temple to remove their impersonalistic ideology. So you go and serve the deity. I'm not saying you take the responsibility of the deity worship. You have to serve. Do one aarti a day, you know, one time cleaning a day, or maybe twice or thrice a week, dressing once a week, aarti, something like that. So it's my experience also in some temples where the head pujari, is a grahastha, and he doesn't leave, he's just fixed up. The brahmachari said, my Guru Maharaj is coming, he runs here, or he has got some Sankirtan, Sankirtan mein jana hai. Mind comes. Yeah. And no idea, you have to clean. तो जी कोई और कर लेगा, कोई और कर लेगा. So this kind of tendencies come, and that's the reason it is more psychological. So in psychology is like that. That doesn't mean that the brahmachari is considered deity worship to be secondary, then gone. It is responsibility should be that of the grahasthas. They make sure that all the dresses are proper. Then they make sure that enough kirana is there. Otherwise, brahmachari they go, जो है ना उससे बना के दे देंगे, जो है कल देखेंगे. But a grass will come, and whether it is there or not, they see everything. Then, so there is a difference. If brahmacharis go for prasadam, they just go and then eat and then come back. They are not many things. They are little bit laparva. There's some laparva is there, and you cannot have any laparva in deity worship. So you should have a grahastha who is takes the responsibility of deity worship, and brahmachari should serve. In that sense, you can do samanvaya. Okay. Any? Yes.
Prabhuji, you told that we can't fulfill all desires of Krishna, and that's why Krishna says, I am Atmaram. And so, can you please tell us more about this? Like, Krishna says he's something, but actually.
Yeah, that's what it is. That is why everywhere there is Virodhavas. Take that verse. Bhagavatam, first canto, Krishna is entering Dwaraka. Brahmanas are glorifying Krishna with the Vedic chants. Take that verse. They are blessing Krishna. And his blessings is Uchita and Anuchita. Take that verse. What is the exact word used there? Got it? The Brahmanas are blessing Krishna. Yeah, you read it. Nirgunasya Gunatmanaha. What is the full verse? Ashruyantaha ashishaha satyaha Vijeritaraha na anurupascha. This is anurupa and appropriate and both. Now, na anurupa anurupascha. Na anurupa means it is inappropriate. Anurupa means appropriate. Now just see, Krishna is entering Dwaraka, and the Brahmanas, they are chanting Vedic mantras, especially those mantras are of blessing the Lord. Like Tirupallandu. Pallandu, Pallandu, Nurairuttandu, Palagodi Nurairam. Periyalvar, in the first Pasuram of Divya Prabandham. What is he saying? He saw Krishna coming, welcoming. Krishna came out of the temple in Garuda. Then Periyalvar is sitting on the elephant, and then he is taking the two bells and starts singing. Nurairam, let there be Jug Jug Jio. Beta, Jug Jug Jio. His blessing, Krishna. The whole of the Divya Prabandha starts with the blessing for Krishna. A devotee blessing Krishna. Here the Brahmanas are blessing Krishna. Now tell me, is it appropriate to bless Krishna? Somebody says, no. So he's speaking the tattva. Somebody is smiling. Ah, Krishna is enjoying the blessings like a son would enjoy the blessings of the father. That is rasa. So if you see from the tattva point of view, blessing is na anurupa. If you see from the rasa point of view, it is anurupa. So that is why Krishna is nirgunasya, even though he is nirguna, he is gunatmanaha. He is gunatmanaha. What is that gunatmanaha? What is that guna of Krishna? Bhakta Vatsalya. He reciprocates the bhava of Krishna, bhava of the devotees. Whatever bhava the devotees have, reciprocates. So that is where you have to see the samanvaya of tattva and rasa. If you don't do samanvaya of tattva and rasa, then either you become a impersonalist or you'll become a saji. So this is what happens. You sit and hear how Krishna is Atma Rama. He is Atma Rama. That is why it is said in the last Panchayati beginning, Bhagavanapi Atma Ramopi Bhagavanapi Taratrihi Sharadotpulla Mallika Viksha Manasas Chakre. He determined mind and Rantum Yogamaya Pashatha. I want to enjoy. I want to enjoy. He's determined to enjoy. Krishna just wants to enjoy. He's determined to enjoy. What will you do? Though he is Bhagavan. So this is how you make the samanvaya of tattva and rasa. That is there in the Bhagavata. So when you have the sambandha of rasa tattva, rasa and tattva, when you do the samanvaya of rasa and tattva, then scriptures and your seva becomes relishable. Isn't it? That is why Krishna, even though Lakshmi Sahasrasa Sambrama Sevimanam, in spite of that, he is willing to accept and he wants to have bhoga, the kheer made by me. Like in a house, when your mother used to cook, why she cook? With the intention, my cooking, they should all like it. That is why she comes and asks what? Acha hai na? Then you'll be afraid. Acha nahi to bolna padega. Then mother, first you say, बहुत अच्छा है. लेकिन ना ये जो है ना, हाँ मैं जानती हूँ इसके अंदर तारक गड़बड़ हो गया. Isn't it? Personal. Isn't it? Same thing with Krishna. Isn't it? So that's why it is. Once in one devotee was talking about standardization in deity cooking. Yes, you do standardization, but don't that kind of thing that Krishna gets the same taste every day. Just imagine you get the same taste of the dal every day. There should some variety. Sometimes little bit more namak, sometimes less namak, sometimes little bit sugar. That kind of should be there. That makes it more personal. Isn't it? Hmm? So it's a person. The whole idea is to, if you just think Krishna is Atma Rama, fine for philosophy, it's perfect. But after some time, it will become impersonal. Because impersonal also says Atma Rama. He is Atma Rama, I am also Atma Rama. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman, sleep. Instead of Brahman, you'll attain Brahma. Brahma. Okay. So we stop here and last question. Yeah, 4 o'clock already. I don't want you to.
Yes. Since I joined in 2011,
Ah,
first time I am hearing some talk about deity worship. So I am very grateful that
first time.
Yeah. so there are, as per my knowledge, I could never hear. I wanted to hear from him, wanted to hear from many pujaris, but they don't share their means. So thank you very much for sharing
Be
important.
careful about the pujaris. Pujaris are special people. I'm telling you fact. They may be rough in their dealings. I say, "No, you should be nice." Actually, pujaris should not be nice. They'll be nice to the new people. But these people who are staying, they should not be nice because they have to maintain some strictness. If they become closeness, what happens? Are ye apna hi pujari hai, chalo, you go to Deity kitchen and then they take some fruit and come away. Huh? That's why they have to maintain that. It's actually gravity and some distance so that the deity kitchen department is having is the strictness is maintained. So you require that kind of tendency to be there. Like for example, sometimes somebody just runs into the kitchen. You require somebody, hey, well, no, somebody has to be there, na? Otherwise, then if you're a congregation preacher kind of thing, oh, very good, boy, acha, but if you catch it doesn't work like that.
Thank you to you and the organizers that they are hearing something about deity worship. My question is, Prabhu, when I read this verse about Tadaham Bhakti Upavritam, that was Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. So when I read the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, I felt that rarely Krishna must be accepting the offerings because it's highly, Krishna is putting very clear things. And you mentioned also that, Krishna doesn't like anything, he rejects also. So my question is, Prabhu, what actually Krishna accepts and what he doesn't accept properly to understand so that I can honor Prasadam. My consciousness can elevate.
Huh. Remnants of Krishna and rejection of Krishna, both are transcendental. But don't cook and offer in such a way that you would reject it. Huh. So there's something called Uchishta and something called Avashesha. How many of you understood these two terms? Yeah, that means you have knowledge of your native language, vernacular. That's why it's important to have your knowledge. If you're a Marathi, don't forget Marathi, please. If you're a Telugu, don't forget Telugu. Kannada, don't forget. Use it. Use it. Maybe if you can read it. Nice. Very important. Then you'll become very close. Of course, Sanskrit is best if you can learn, but it's not like that kind of thing happening now. It will happen in future. So if you have these words proper, then it's easy to understand certain things. So Krishna eats and then some remnants are there. That's called remnant after eating, uchishta. Other one is what? You keep something, and Krishna says, "Kya karna hai, chhod do. Leके jao." This is what? It's what? Avashesh, bach gaya. Now, in the kitchen, food is left over. Why? He understood. ऐसे बनाया बच गया. हाँ, that is made so horrible. Who would like to eat? But that is why when you ask a festival or some, if you ask a cook, कैसा रहा प्रसादम, go to kitchen department people, प्रभु जी कुछ बचा ही नहीं है. They're so happy to tell. Why? That means people ate so much, so tasty it was. But if he doesn't know rasa, that means, hey, bacha hi nahi, start dega, kam banaya tha. No, it's not kam banaya tha. You made proper, but people ate. I'm telling you, if thing is tasty, na, a person who would eat normally 3 chapatis, he would eat 6 on that day. So it's like that, taste. So the same thing with Krishna. If you are cooked so nicely, you chaat ke pura khatam karega. That means that is you get prasad. What do you say as uchishta? And other is both. Rejection of Krishna is also prasad. Prasad has 2 aspects. Uchishta, and don't think whether it is uchishta or avashesha. You don't see when it's come on the plate. You will understand it when you eat it. If it is tasty, it is. It is not. So make like that. Make like that. It is the same thing with every aspect. Of course, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he talks about Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadam bhakti uparutam ashnami prayatatmanaha ashnami, I accept. So there he talks about the different rules of the smritis. The woman in the periods cannot come and cook. All these things are there. He mentions that point. Then he brings the smritis there because in the smritis, the first principle is cleanliness and procedures, which is an external expression of love. Many people, those who don't think they are too intelligent and jnani and that kind of thing, they criticize the rituals. Rituals, it's all ritual. No, ritual is an external manifestation of your love. Isn't it? The external manifestation. So don't disregard rituals. It's become a disease. The pseudo-Indian intellectuals and some kind of so-called scholars. That is what it makes. The scholarship, the so-called intellectualism, so-called preachers, they think that this is low class. These are all rituals. They are transcendental. No, it is impersonalism. It is not transcendentalism, it is impersonalism. If you don't have rituals, sampradaya cannot last. Like 4:30 Mangalarti. Prabhupada made a system. It's actually a ritual, isn't it? This time this, this time this, this time this. What is this? You have to dress in a particular way. Isn't all these things are what? Yes, standardization. So this continues the tradition. That's called smriti. It's all smriti. Now, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is our smriti. It's our smriti. Smriti means you do standardization of principles, which maintains the purity and continuity of the sampradaya, because it is written. In many temples, when Ramanuja went, when he established the standard of Pancharatra, what bhoga should be offered at what time, what quality has to be used, he has written on a stone, walls of the deity room. Yeah, Tirupati, he did it. Even till today, it is exactly Srirangam, exactly the same thing. Almost 300 festivals in 365 days. How to celebrate what? Written on the stone. He knew, I'll not be there after some time. Anybody comes, you have to see that. Not in the book, on the stone, carved. This time this time this time this. So acharyas create this priti. So don't just think it's a ritual and then we should, okay, chalta hai, like that. Okay, so we stop here, I think. Huh? You have a question? 4:30. I was told 4 o'clock. I have no problem.
Guruji, just
Yes.
follow up on what you said already. Means this part is clearly understood. What he writes about the person who is offering, he writes very many things that he should be clean. Like Prayatatmana means he is
Atma
clean.
means clean.
He is offering with devotion, not that he is, that day only he became.
That is why I brought this point, cleanliness and standardization.
Okay.
He talks about both the things.
So whether Krishna accepts, if offerer, the person who is
Swarat.
offering, he's not like,
He's-
he's not chanting
he-
16 round, let us say.
He is Swarat. Krishna is Swarat. Like a child, Krishna, I'm just using the word child. Sometimes the mother will say, nahi khana. Kyun nahi khana? Nahi khana, bas. Who are you to say? Kyun khana hi padega? Mother would say, na, khana hi padega. Nahi khana. And sometimes the child would go and do chori and eat. Isn't it? Sometimes the child is upset with the mother. Mother cooks nice thing, nahi khana. But he wants to eat. So Krishna is independent. He has made so many rules and he's beyond rules. Don't try to fit him in the rules. One devotee asked, Prabhuji, why Krishna doesn't do Ekadashi? Why Krishna doesn't do Ekadashi? It's his wish. He can make everyday Ekadashi because he is time himself. But what he's Swarat, he's independent. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu, for the inspiring class. When you said that Krishna expresses his desire through desire of the devotee or pujari, I witnessed some issues that some pujaris would have one opinion, the others the other, then the head pujari would change something drastically, then the other devotees would be very upset, then new management would come, then they would release this head pujari from the position, then the other yatra would say, how could they do this? And like, how we know what is Krishna's desire, what is someone's concoction?
Some engagement is required, the conditions told till they go back home, back to Godhead. Till we go back home, back to Godhead, the condition role souls require some engagement to fight. They go going on back home, back to Godhead, isn't it? So you require some engagement. Then you go on somewhere. All these things happen, isn't it? So they had like, you are waiting for a flight. And the flight is going to take you to your destination where you have to go. And you are waiting for the flight. And what do you do during that waiting time? A family is there. They do some time pass, isn't it? So this time pass happens. Don't be much bothered about it. Don't be much bothered about it. It takes its own course depending on the karma of the devotees who are engaged in that service. It's karma pravaha, that's all. Don't be much bothered about it. Especially in puja department, it happens. All happens. And ultimately, everybody understands that I am not the controller. One pujari was removed because of this. We wanted to see this how it is. He is very strict. And one we removed. Then he was crying. Oh yes, ऐसा हुआ मैं चले जाऊंगा मंदिर से. I told ठीक है चले जाओ कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है दूसरा मंदिर में चले गए अभी जन्माष्टमी आ रहे हैं ना वो करके जाओ. So Janmashtami happened and Prabhupada. Then I told how are you? Oh जी पहली बार मैंने जीवन में फेस्टिवल अटेंड किया. First time I have attended a festival. All these years as a pujari, hectic work during festival, but he never had the opportunity to attend the festival, enjoy the festival, to go to the pandal, hear the lecture, meet devotees. He never got the opportunity. Then he told, "Jo hua na acha hi hua lagta hai." Then what happened? The same day, another problem came. So all the pujaris went and told the new pujari, head pujari, "Ji pehli acha tha." It was the previous pujari was only good. So it's rasa. Temple management rasa. It's not a new thing. Everywhere. Go even in childhood is go to some Shiva Vaishnava temple is to go. Ramananda Pratishtha deity is there in my where I was born in Mysore. So till second standard I was there in Mysore. Just takes to about half a kilometer from temple. There's a deity Ramanuja. And the pujari, his son, we were like friends. And he used to tell what happened in the temple and same thing. It's not a new thing. Same thing everywhere. And it happens most in the pujari department. That's a special rasa that you have to accept. There's no way.
Alex, his question, I was thinking that how to understand that some desire is coming in mind and this is the Krishna's desire or my mind?
Shruti, Purana, Adi, Pancharatrim, Vidhi. Number two, if you want to confirm, you can confirm with your spiritual master. There are only two symptoms. That's all. It is very rare case. In general, suppose some devotee wants to offer this to the Lord, he can offer it. So, the desire to serve Krishna is inspired by Krishna. It is Bhagavat Preranaya, Bhagavat Kainkarya Rupena, Bhagavat Preertyartham. Means Bhagavat Preranaya, by the inspiration of the Lord. Bhagavat Kainkarya Rupena, as a servant of the Lord. Bhagavat Preertyartham means by the pleasure of the Lord. Acharya Pramukhena means under the guidance of a Acharya. Acharya Pramukhena. Karma Kareshe means I am offering, I am doing this activity to the Lord. So, one, to inspiring Krishna. I am as an instrument, as a servant of Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. I am doing this. So this is all found in the Brahma's prayers. In the third canto, 9th chapter. These are the points which are there. That is why when you do Archan, they use these words. Why anybody has to come to temple, want to do offering? Because some inspiration is there. Who gave that inspiration? So inspiration is by Krishna. So the Lord accepts a service. You have done the service means actually he's accepted the service. So that's a big thing. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, in DT services, actually many devotees do get an opportunity to serve in different ways, either like first initiated devotees or those who are not Brahman initiated, even Brahman initiated also. And the goal, as you are mentioning, is to develop attachment to the Lord, because we can, like relate with that. What we can't relate with the holy name or Bhagavatam as the form of the Lord. The form of the Lord manifesting in a two-handed form, we can connect. But yet it is seen that majority of the people, within our society also, there are many records of Brahmanas only, going abroad or getting married or things like that. Although they are with the Lord and they're supposed to get attached to the Lord rather than getting attached to matter. But it is often seen thing. So what are the parameters? How do we really judge that we are on the right track and not on the track where we get distracted? It looks like it's like attraction and distraction both are very prominent in the service here.
See, when you do seva, archana, 100% aparadashataihi. So many offenses happen. But the offense, in the archana vidhi itself, there is a procedure to nullify the offense. That is yaga. In the Panchanga vidhi of Vigraha Seva, Abhigamana, Upadana, Bhuta Shuddhi, Ijja, and Swadhyaya. All the five. So, in Abhigamana, there is dosha, Upadana, dosha, Bhuta Shuddhi, dosha, Ijja, dosha. In one thing, there is no dosha, Swadhyaya. So, when the pujari doesn't do Swadhyaya, you connect this to the verse. Mantrataha, tantrataha, yaschidram, deshakala, vastutaha, sarvam karoti, nischidram, harer, anusankirtanam, tava, anusankirtanam. Spoken by Shukracharya. And the Lord did everything, all the hangama has happened, everything gone. Now, Vamana told Shukracharya, continue your yajna. Then, he speaks this verse. He's saying that, all yajna, you have done all the chidras only in the yajna. But just by Sankirtan, all the chidras will become nischidra. All the holes, all the deficiencies will become normal. What to speak of when you are personally present? That is the syntax there. When Nam Sankirtan itself is enough to do the Purnahuti, all the things, then you yourself are there. Then why continue? Yajna is over now. Purnahuti, everything is over. In the same way, when the pujaris don't chant the holy names, when the pujaris don't do Swadhyaya, then there will be only chidras. So the chidras accumulate more and more. Then it gets into the head. Seva aparad gets into the head. It becomes too much for them to. And then it comes to Anyavancha. It manifests in the form of Anyavancha. That is why the pujari is supposed to hear the Bhagavatam class, study Bhagavatam. Those who do that, they will be lifelong pujaris. Those who don't do that, they're Anyavancha. Because naturally offenses are there. And just take over. So make sure that pujaris are giving a Bhagavatam class so that they will study. And their chanting time should be given to them. Especially what happens is in big temples, pujaris in the morning every day, they are in the Deity department, then they take prasad. After prasadam, they chant in the temple. In the temple, a lot of ladies come, go, and all. Mind get disturbed. chanting doesn't happen proper. So as temple managers, we make sure that this pujaris get a proper place where they can sit and then chant properly. Not just roam around the temple and then go on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Morning time is not a problem, but daytimes you don't know who comes, who goes, what happens, all these things. So even if it is there, then they should get a proper time to chant, and then make sure they chant, and then they study the Bhagavatam. And from the temple management point of view, we see, "Arey, kali do hi aarti karta hai." You see, but actually 1 hour before he has to prepare. Dress, 1.5 hours it takes. Does the aarti, then comes back. So it's actually aarti maybe for half an hour, but actually it's actually 3 hours activity. It's actually 3 hours. Practically goes 2 or 3 aartis means is, and he has to chant. So all these things have to be taken into consideration. They should give them proper facility, best facility, separate place, all these things. Somehow we are not really addressed their needs. We are more concerned about the needs of a preacher than the pujaris. Of course, we are maturing now for a period of time, but the purpose for which we are living, the deity, and one who is serving the deity, if that person is not taken care, preacher, if he doesn't get the vehicle, he can go in the bus. Okay, even if he goes late to a program, no problem. But Aarti should happen on time, isn't it? Aarti should happen. It should happen on time. There's no other way. There's no way. The prasadam of the day, the preacher, if he gets little bit here and there, no problem. The pujari's prasadam gets here and there, then what happens? He has to pass gas. In the altar, what he can do? Tell me, it's you. So all these things have to be kept in mind. Okay, I don't want to get into all these nitty-gritties. It's more of
And it's important because the point you have mentioned does happen. It's a practical reality. At times there are pujaris who are coming from a background where they're not preaching oriented. Like there's one temple, like Ujjain temple, just to name it. So they have 24 pujaris from Bengal, and they don't know even Hindi or English. They can't preach even if they wish to, and they're very happy, satisfied. They have their needs, they're taken care of. But at times when we have a community like ours where we are preaching to qualified people, who are trained in preaching also, along with other things. So it does happen that after doing service in DT department in a dedicated way, the devotees do develop the desire of doing some preaching also, cultivation also, some kind of management also. So they may have that desire, but because having that, then by their own choice, their schedule and their thing get affected within DT department. So on one hand, they may have that desire, and then this thing get affected, and then there can be other issues connected to that. So is there any
that is why you, at
guidelines?
least those who are staying 15 days continuously in the temple, they should be only, in general, they should have fixed service. Otherwise, those who are just staying 2 days here, 2 days somewhere, 3 days somewhere like that, may just come and not do aarti and go away of his own wish, but you cannot consider him as a within the pujari department. He may have fallen sick. Clothes are coming from somewhere else. All these things are there. So that's a management decision.
The pujari choose to, like for example, somebody is a class at 7 o'clock, although Aarti is at 7:30, then naturally there's in the mind that I have to complete and then go for class. Naturally it's there, but that's his choice. So, I mean, do these things just like get adjusted because we are preaching also and we are doing deity worship also, or these are not the good practices? I'm not getting a clear picture of that. That means as pujari's only view of that, I have multiple things. I'll go out for a preaching program in the night, then I'll come late night, then morning I have service, which I have only chosen as a pujari. But then there's a compromise in the standard or in the quality because I am extending and I'm half asleep. And
That's also you should be very careful. You have a late night program and in the morning you've chosen to be the pujari in Mangalarti. Can you give full attention to the Lord? So these are the final aspects as a society, as we go, as the time goes, advances, we'll address all these things. It has to be addressed all. We to think that Pujari is not a preacher. Actually, if you wish, a Pujari can be the best preacher. Just imagine from the altar, you give one flower and you come out and then say, why are you chanting Hare Krishna? No, no. Why don't you chant one round at least? And a preacher tells, one ear says, just banging his head there. One sentence matters a lot. In Jew, a lot of experience devotees have. Devotees have purchased Bhagavad Gita, purchased Bhagavad Gita. But when I go in front of the altar, the pujari gives, they have to take. They cannot say no. It's coming from the feet of the Lord. That is Bhagavad Gita. Isn't it? So, if you want to preach, you can preach anyhow. You can be a simple new bhakta, clean the temple and preach. I still remember the first brahmachari whom I made was when I was cleaning the temple. I just joined, maybe just 15 days, that's all. I was cleaning the temple and one boy just came. Mandir khula hai kya? I told, khula nahi. I told, it's all closed. And then he came and told me, आप क्या करते हो? मैंने कहा अभी मैं join किया हूँ. You know what he told? मैं भी आ सकता हूँ क्या आपके जैसा? That's the question. I don't, क्यों नहीं? आ जाओ. Stayed for 6 years. Then he went to some other temple. Something happened. I don't know. He stayed to initiation just like that. So I explained to him. I stopped cleaning and then made him sit down, explain, made him chant. Half an hour explain. He had some questions. And he just stayed because he had some problem in his house and not just came. So if you want to preach, you can preach. Otherwise, I would have told, hey, mandir band ho gaya, jao, jao, jao. I could have told, don't disturb. Already so many mosquitoes and all these things, whole day hectic program. If you want to preach, do that. You can do that. Pujaris also can do that. Prasadam distributed, preaching is multi-folds. Giving lecture is only 10%, 20% of preaching. It's actually your purity, your sambandha. Those things matter. Okay, bro, we'll stop here. Prabhupada ki jai.